Beginners believe, masters know. There is lower knowledge and there is higher knowledge. There is lower truths and there is higher truths. But the lower truths and the higher truths don't contradict each other. There might be some blurriness between them because there's middle ground, but they don't contradict each other. But there is truth and there is false. Buddha says there is right thinking and there is wrong thinking. So belief seems to be a recurring theme. And for me, belief was like 10 years ago. I started out with belief, but if it can't be explained logically or it can't be evidently proven, then there's a problem there. So short-sightedness and closed-mindedness are hindrances. Stubbornness is a hindrance, but strong-mindedness is not a hindrance. Belief and faith are different. Faith is absence of doubt, and it's also strength in output. To say you believe something without proof is considered ignorance. I no longer say I believe. I say I know, and this is why I know. When you start to get into a conversation with someone, if you start to explain it to them and they're closed-minded, they don't want to understand what you're saying, that's ignorance. So what happened is that the science and the church had a crossroads. The church was saying that there was God. The science was saying, prove it. Then all sorts of bad stuff happened. But science made the scientific method so that you could prove something that couldn't be seen as fact. The scientific method is basically, you make an experiment. If it has the same results with the same external conditions more than once, it's a proven fact. If you look at Einstein, he proved mathematically the speed of light and E equals mc squared. But it wasn't until they had to take a photograph of the light that came from behind the moon during an eclipse to prove that the light was bent by the gravity of the moon. As soon as they proved that the light was bent by the gravity of the moon, then Einstein's theory that time-space is one thing and can be bent was proven. Okay? But don't go back to the 1600s to where we don't understand what scientific method is and we don't understand what the fact or non-fact is. And if the science is clogged up with corruption, there's a problem. So it depends on who's wielding the science. What is the person's intention on wielding the science? Is the person's intention of wielding the science making a profit, or is the person's purpose or intention of holding the science to better humanity? Okay? So if the person's intention is to better humanity, obviously the science is going to be different than if the person's intention is for his own personal gain and profiteering. This should be common knowledge. This is not space age, this is not rocket science. Okay, this should be common knowledge at this point. This is the golden era of information. We can tap on our cell phones and tap into all the sciences. It's right there. It's so easy. It's right on the phone. You don't have to go to India and look in a library and look in a monastery. It's all there, interpreted in different languages. This should be common knowledge. I believe in God. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that something created this. Whatever created this, the law of thermodynamics and the law of energy states that energy cannot be created or destroyed. That means that whatever this energy is had to come from somewhere. Then when you understand physics and chemistry and the atomic chart and atoms and molecules and the laws of energy, this had to come from somewhere. So where did it come from? So when you're meditating, you trace it to the source. And if you examine it, whatever created this had to have intelligence. The laws that govern this universe were intelligently created. They were not unintelligently created. There's so many laws, the law of gravity, the law of time, the speed of light, all these laws that govern the universe, that govern it, they're very well balanced. So whatever created this was intelligence. In other words, the odds of this omniverse being created by accident, the odds are basically not only improbable, but more towards impossible. Like 99.999999999 to the gazillionth pi that whatever created this existence was intelligent. The math proves it. So as soon as something is proven like that, if you deny it, then you're ignorant, you're wrong. So whether you're wrong or right, if you're fighting something saying that you're right when you're actually wrong, and then it gets proven that it's right and you're still fighting against it, that's just ignorance. And not only is it ignorance, but it's stopping the growth of humanity and the intelligence of humanity on a global scale and level, and that's absolutely just flat out wrong. The problem is a debates are good things, but both members of the debate should be respectful. If both members of the debate are respectful and both members' purpose is to achieve higher understanding, that's what we should be trying to do. Achieve the highest understanding, and then that's good. But when this one just wants to prove that he's right, get the money, this one just wants to prove that he's right, get the power, it's not a debate, it's a flat out disgusting, ignorant, stupid argument is what it is. And not only that, but it's dumbing down intelligence. I mean, it's dumbing down intelligence to the point of like stick, rock, ugh. Like, we're not at stick, rock, break rock anymore. We're at like quantum physics. We're at like a whole different understanding. The fact that we can understand creation from its beginning till its end and know what an omniverse is and the 12 dimensions are, I mean, this is the level of intelligence that we're at. And I still have people saying they don't believe. Like, that level is still there. That level shouldn't be there. Namaste.